Hello and welcome to another issue of the Headless Hammerhead Guide to Comics and More. Today we're going to continue our series on the power sets for Marvel Multiverse Role-playing Game, and today we're discussing phasing powers. So, if you're ready and you're not scared of ghosts, let's go! So phasing is the ability to turn one's body or other objects into something ethereal or evanescent, and basically it works for any characters who are ghost-like or even characters who can manipulate their body density like Vision. And this is another small power set. It includes 9 powers, including Disrupt Electronics, Disrupt Nerves, Disrupt Person, Partial Phase, Phase Other, Phase Self, Phase Walk, and Quick Phase. All of these have the prerequisite of Phase Self, except Phase Self itself, and then they have rank requirements. Phase Self being the only rank 1 power. So the first power we're looking at is Disrupt Electronics. Of course, prerequisites, Phase Self and rank 2. Standard action, instant duration, cost of 5 focus. And what it does is, basically when you're phasing through any kind of electronic device, you can cause them to crash or shut down. If it's a tech-reliant power or item, then it's going to shut down for 1 turn. And it's a decent power if you're going to be facing a lot of high-tech stuff. You know, if you're fighting like Dr. Doom with the Doombots and stuff, it's really useful because it doesn't require any kind of roll. You just phase through, use the power, pay your 5 focus, and the electronic device or person or power is disrupted, which is a really, really useful power. Well, at least in those situations. The next one is Disrupt Nerves. It's similar to Disrupt Electronics. Phase Self, rank 2 are the prerequisites, standard action, instant duration, and 5 focus costs. All of that is the same. And the way it works is this time it works for a person's nervous system. So when you can phase through a person and disrupt their nervous systems, all you do is make an ego check against their resilience defense. And on a success, they are stunned for 1 round. On a fantastic success, they also fall prone. Useful power in combat to take an enemy out for a round, allowing your teammates to pummel them. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but if you're liking this video, please hit that like button, the thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot, and also make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you. Next up is Disrupt Person. Basically, it's against Phase Self, rank 3 are the prerequisites, standard action, instant duration, 10 focus cost. And what you do is when you're phasing through someone, you slightly unphase with yourself or a weapon that you're using, and you're going to be dealing damage to that person after you make a close attack and succeed on that attack. And the benefit is that it ignores damage reduction, which is a really, really good thing if you're fighting someone who has, say, Juggernaut or somebody like that. And on a fantastic success, you deal double damage and stun that person for another round, which is great. It's a really strong power, and I highly recommend it. Next we have Partial Phase. Phase Self and rank 2 are the prerequisites, standard action, concentration is the duration, and the cost is 5 focus. You're able to phase just specific parts of your body rather than your whole body. It's got its uses, but it's an okay power. It's nothing out of this world. It's good for role-playing. In combat, it's not really going to help you much. I mean, it could have been useful had it been a reaction instead of a standard action, because you'd be able to say, if you're helping somebody in one way, one of your teammates performing CPR on them or whatever, and then you have, say, the stretching ability, and you stretch your arm out, and you phase that arm to go through 5 enemies that are in a line, and then you can partial phase and then do something like Disrupt Person, then you could disrupt them all. But because this and Disrupt Person both require standard actions, it's impossible to do it unless you have super speed, and now we're talking a bunch of powers just to do the one move that's very specific. So again, not very useful in combat, good for role-playing. That's about it. Next we have Phase Object. Phase self and rank 2 other prerequisites. Standard action, concentration is the duration, and cost is 5 focus. You can basically make any object intangible, and it's up to your rank in sizes bigger than you. So at rank 5, you could do it 5 sizes bigger than you, making it gargantuan if you're a normal sized person. It's great for phasing out entire groups of people, because this doesn't only phase the object, but anything that it's touching or attached or inside of it. So you can say put everybody in a helicopter or an airplane, whatever, the Quinjet, and phase that, and now your whole team has been phased out, which is great. The only problem with this power is that you have to be touching the object the whole time while you're concentrating. So you can't just say grab or touch, say Hawkeye's arrow, have them shoot it through a wall, and then unphase it so it hits whoever's on the other side of the wall. It just wouldn't work. Unfortunately, you have to be touching the item the whole time. But it's got its uses. Phase other, so it's a prerequisite. Phase self in rank 3. Standard or reaction is a type of action. The trigger is the target is grabbed if it's a reaction. Duration is a concentration, and the cost is 10 focus. Now this allows you to phase another person, but not just them, anybody else that they're grabbing as well. So you can actually phase 2 people with this one power. They have to remain in contact with you and with each other the entire time. Now as you phase, if you phase through an object, if you let go or stop the power for whatever reason, lose concentration, then you will take damage if you become tangible within another object. And once you become tangible inside another object, if you're dead, then you're dead for good. You become permanently part of that object. So it's just like the teleportation powers in this way. Now the keystone power for the phasing power set is phase self. It's got no prerequisites, standard action, concentration is the duration effect. You become intangible when you activate the power. It doesn't cost any focus. You just at will become intangible, but it does take a standard action, so you can't do it as a reaction. There's a power for that. What's interesting about this is it doesn't give the warning about becoming tangible inside another object here and taking damage if it happens. I guess they figure if you're doing it yourself, you're not gonna undo it while you're, unlike teleport where you have no control sometimes over where you're gonna appear. You can control when you become tangible again with this, but it does require concentration. So if you lose concentration for whatever reason, say somebody does a mental attack on you and knocks you out, now you're no longer going to be phased. You can technically reappear and become tangible inside another object, which should cause damage. So I would use the rules for phase other in that respect if something like that were to happen with this power. Then we have phase walk. It has a very specific use. It allows you to walk on air or on water, anything. It's got a rank 2 prerequisite along with phase self. Duration is concentration, and cost is 5 focus. It's very specific. It doesn't give you the ability to fly or swim underwater, but if you're, say, on the top of a building and you got to get to another building at the same height, then you can phase walk to that building. So in a way, it's kind of like flying, but not really. Or if you're underwater, you can, and it won't affect your breathing. So you can actually stay underwater in this phase state as long as you're concentrating to walk through to wherever you're going. So it's got its uses in role-play mode, but it's very, very specific. I don't recommend this power. Finally, we have quick phase. It's phase self and rank 2 are the prerequisites. It is a reaction, and the trigger for that reaction is if you're attacked. Duration is concentration, and the cost is 5 focus. Basically, once you're attacked, you can instantly become intangible, and the attack will miss. So it's got great uses in combat, not so much outside of combat, but it's a great power to have if you're fighting a very strong bad guy. They can't touch you. It's really, really useful in that respect. And there you have it, another issue in the bag. Please, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. You know the whole drill. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting me. It really all helps quite a bit. If you have questions or comments, please be sure to leave them in the box below or email me at headlesshammerhead@gmail.com. I try to respond as quickly as possible, usually the same day, usually within an hour or two. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.